Welcome to Queen City Fame, where we put the Q in Queen and the F in Fame. He was featured in a national Snickers bar commercial. He's dedicated to helping women determine their own personal style and gain confidence. Owner and designer of Scarlet Plus Boutique, Todd Albaum.
Wow. I don't think I've ever had such a fabulous introduction. Thank you very much.
You're
I
welcome.
appreciate that.
Who's Todd Albaum?
That's a great question. I think it's me. I have had a lot of different passions in life, and I think fashion is my number one passion. Really, it runs in my blood. Really does.
Really?
Mhm.
Well, you know, we had announced that you were in a national Snicker bars commercial. Tell me a little bit about that experience.
Wow. Now you're making me go back. Well, you know, it was in the '80s, and I was in a shopping mall, and I was asked to do a questionnaire, and I just said, sure, Snicker candy bars, I love them, I eat them all the time, it's my favorite candy bar, as a matter of fact. And before you know it, there was the second interview, the third interview process, and by that point they told me that the commercial was going to be a DJ, and at the time I was DJing in a college radio station.
Oh.
And I also did private parties where I had my own equipment and I DJ'd parties. So I came up with this silly story that I was DJing a record in the college radio station, and I ran downstairs to get a Snicker candy bar, and I forgot to come back up in time, and the record was still going at the end. That's when records were around.
Right, exactly.
So that was live dead air because I had to run and get a Snicker candy bar. Well, they kind of, ate up that story, and it turned itself into a commercial, which turned into they called it a wild spot. What a wild spot means is that commercial goes national, and it's held in LA, New York, Chicago, Boston, Miami, all the big cities.
Right.
And it was also in 1984, and it also got picked up as the official candy bar commercial of the 1984 Olympics, which were in Los
Wow.
Angeles at the time. So that was a lot of fun, and it got me a portfolio and a couple of checks in the mail. But at the time, I was under 21 years old, so they pay you the minimum they would pay an actor for that. But
Right.
I did every morning. I couldn't wait for the mailman to get to the house because an unknown check would show up. So that was a lot of fun. It's
Right.
really cool.
Absolutely. So you went from, being an actor, I would say, in this Snickers commercial to design. When did you realize you had a passion for design?
You have to be that person on the outside
Right.
as well as on the inside. So I guess what I'm trying to say, in the mid to late 80s, I looked like that lost member of Duran Duran.
Hey, I love Duran
You
Duran.
know, I had the white Capezios, the
Yeah.
Jordache jeans, the
Yes.
skinny leather tie. I shopped at Chess King, and the long
my
hair
God,
in the
Chess
back and the
King.
short hair here, and I just with the sleeves rolled up on the jacket, the members only jacket.
Oh, of course.
I was definitely a product of the 80s, and I also had my DJ equipment. So I used to DJ at private parties. I used to put ads in the newspaper and get gigs, and I would do parties. But that's probably, I've always had that style. I've always had that desire to be different, to be that purple cow,
Right.
to be somebody unlike everybody else. I guess the best way to put it is to be the exception.
Right, exactly.
And then you become the exception at other things too.
Now, did you go to design school or were you self-taught?
Self-taught.
So,
self-taught.
what did you go to school for?
Well, I went to Ramapo College in New Jersey, where I grew up. I was born in Brooklyn, grew up in New Jersey, and Ramapo College is a state college, and I was just a business major with everybody else, and I had a minor in French, French language. So that was a lot of fun, and but I always had style. Always had style. But I was never in fashion. I was in the wireless business. I had a bunch of cell phone stores that were sprinkled all throughout New Jersey in the 80s
Okay.
with a partner.
Okay.
So we sold a successful company
Right.
and moved to Charlotte. But before moving to Charlotte, my wife and I went to Italy. Italy is absolutely beautiful. I mean, absolutely beautiful. Every angle of it. And I enjoyed it so much, and we enjoyed it. The food, the culture, the fashion.
Right.
And then before you know it, we're in the south of Italy, and I'm like, I got to find a new career. So let me get involved in fashion. We can open up a fashion women's boutique. We're moving to Charlotte. We'll call it the Catwalk. And we'll have plasma televisions in the floor. She comes out of the dressing room and she
Okay.
walks the catwalk. She walks the runway.
Right.
And have great music pumping, so when she tries on her clothes,
Oh my
it's like she's
gosh.
coming out into like a runway. And that's where you feel it. But I went to a business card exchange and I met this woman. And then she said to me, would you be carrying plus sizes? And I said, no. Why do you ask? She says, because I buy everything and tell all my friends. So I said, what do you mean by that? That's very interesting. She says, nobody helps the plus size woman. She's always the forgotten woman.
Right.
Everything on the end of the rack, the stale matronly clothes that's at the bottom of the basement
You're
is for her.
absolutely right.
And I was like, that's not fair. That's unusual.
Right.
So right before I was about to launch the catwalk, and I had the catwalk.com, I'm all set to pull the trigger on the catwalk, and it's like, oh my God, now I need to research this. So I did. I got involved with a woman who did a case study and a focus group on plus size women, their shopping habits, what women really want. And I took her class on Boutique 101, retail. And then I told her, hey, this woman said that I should do a plus size boutique. What do you think? And then she says to me, I've been telling people that all along. Nobody's listening to me.
Wow.
Run by a man, you could open 10 of them. It'll be fabulous. So I thought I'd give it a try. And I opened up Scarlet. I came up with the name Scarlet.
Where did that come from? Like, what was your inspiration for the name?
I love hearing that question. And I do have a rehearsed answer.
What's the real answer?
You ready for the real
I'm
answer?
ready for the real answer.
Although Scarlett O'Hara was a skinny mini,
Right.
she was strong, feisty, and determined. So to me, the word Scarlet represents women empowerment, strength to women. And
Right.
and that makes sense. Because
Right.
she pulled the curtain down and from the movie Gone with the Wind. So it kind of resonated well with the clients, and it resonates well with me.
Right.
More importantly, that the clients love it and I love it. So 6,000 clients later, here I am with you.
Yeah, because you went against the grain.
I did,
When most
absolutely.
designers, most boutiques, they are catering to 0 to 4, and you said no. I'm gonna go
In a funky, stylish way.
in a funky, stylish
So
way.
so I teach proportion and fit to women. I teach women how proportion and fit comes together to change how they feel about fashion,
Right.
and really, quite frankly, how they feel about themselves. Because when you look good on the outside, you feel good on the inside.
Absolutely.
When you feel good on the inside, you go out more. You don't always sit home and eat as much. You eat better
Exactly.
food. You laugh more. And all
That's
of
true.
that is because you feel good and you look good.
Right.
And people like to be complimented.
Right, and it's great colors too. Now, you not only design, but you also help the client understand what works on their figure, color.
Go figure.
Yeah, your color, skin tone, hair, eyes.
Yes.
Why do you care so much?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
It's a really good question. I don't think you can become a person and study to become a person who cares. You have to be
Right.
born with that feeling.
Right.
It's in your DNA. It's in you. And I'm a pleasing person. I like to make other people happy. So if I have knowledge, or if I see a problem that people have and I know how to figure it out,
Right.
I will tell them. That's why I tell women, you're the canvas and I'm the Picasso. Because to me, fashion is art. I don't
Right.
wear the clothes. So I can create what you have,
Right.
because to me it's complete artwork. You're art. And another woman might not see it that way, because another woman might see it as clothing and see it as you need to wear clothing, but I see it, I'm deeper than that.
Right.
So I like to be, I'm careful with what I select, but I'm always looking for the best outcome, whether it be a $50 sale or a $2,000 sale.
Right.
So your eye color, your hair color, your skin tone,
Right.
what I'm putting on you doesn't matter. I want to wow you. If you don't look good, I don't look good.
Right. Now, you encourage your customers when they go in the fitting room and try on clothes to come out and into the
Yes.
three-way mirror.
I want to educate my customers. An educated consumer is your best client.
Right.
So I want to educate my clients, whether they buy or they don't buy from me. I want them to walk out that this was or is an experience,
Right.
you know, and you want them to feel good and tell their friends.
You were quoted in QC magazine saying, "You can look at how much money you have, or you can look at how many acts of kindness
Oh, yeah.
you've done for people." Where did this love for people come from?
It's important to me to be liked, and that's part of my personality. Some people, they don't care. Some
You're
people
right.
are numbers people. And yes, it's true. That's just my personality. I want to please people. So in order to be liked, you also want to be pleased or please people. And I want people to remember me as a person who is generous. Not just financially, a giver
Yeah.
of advice for free,
Right.
time for free.
Free, yeah.
Volunteering is important to me. I volunteer on 2 boards. Yeah.
So what can customers look forward to when shopping at Scarlet Plus Boutique?
They'll always get a hello, how are you today? Tell me what is it that you're looking for. They'll always have a pleasant experience. I pride myself on treating people as I would like to be treated, and then some. I like to wow people. I told a woman, and it's true, if you bought a pair of earrings from me for $19 and you lose one of the earrings, I'll replace them for free. See?
Wow.
Wow. Why?
Why?
Nobody does that.
Nobody.
Nobody does that.
Nobody.
But I do that because it costs me not much money to replace a pair of earrings
Right.
to get a wow factor.
Right.
I love the wow factor because then she'll buy other things. I'm pretty smart about it. I have my rack outside that's up to 70% off. Sometimes a woman will come
Wow.
look at it's on the rack and I'll say, oh, by the way, there's something also that's 100% off. And I'll kind of walk away and she'll say 100% off. And I'll say, yeah. She says, oh, where is that? And of course, it's free.
Free, right.
And I'll say, oh, it's in the store. You have to find it.
Right.
So now she's looking at everything in the store, and before you know it, she's looking at everything in the store.
Store.
That's what you want them to do.
That's absolutely
So
right.
it's just fun. I like to be playful with customers and just have fun in that respect.
Now, what's next for Todd Albaum?
I might be a consultant for this industry, perhaps, as I start a new career.
Another career? Okay. Sounds good.
Yes.
And you have all the years of experience, so.
Yes, I do.
Yeah, and relationships.
Oh, yeah. Relationships are great. You can't buy relationships. I don't care what anybody says.
Right.
Relationships are built on a foundation of trust and of commitments to people,
Right.
and you can't purchase that.
Not at all.
Invaluable.
Now, where can people find you or follow you through social media?
I'm not a really big social media guy other than Facebook.
So you drive the Scarlet Plus Boutique on Facebook.
Yeah, it's on Facebook.
Yeah.
But I also have a core base. So I do email blasts to all my customers. I put signs up around town. I've got referral-based customers coming here. Yeah.
And you have a website?
I do have a good website,
And
too.
what's your website?
It's www.scarletplus.com.
I'm going to relay back to that Snickers for our national commercial.
Snickers satisfies you.
That's what I'm talking about. Crooning all day. And you heard it here. Thank you for joining us on Queen City Fame, where we put the Q in Queen and the F in Fame. Thank you, Todd, for having us here today.
Thank you very much. It was a pleasure.
Absolutely.
Enjoyed it. And thanks for bringing back some awesome memories.
I know.
It's like going down memory lane. I
I
enjoyed
know.
that.
Thank you for singing.
That was fun.
I would love a little bit more of that.
Yeah, some Louis Armstrong.
Louis Armstrong. Okay.
You ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Hello, Dolly. Well, hello, Dolly. It's so nice to have you back where you belong. Oh, yeah.
Thank you so much. That was great.
Can't believe I did that.
Hello, my name is Agatha Johnson, also known as the Ghanaian American Doll, and I am a model. And just to give a brief background on the origin of my name, it speaks to the fact that my mother is American and my father is from Ghana, West Africa. I was born in Hartford, Connecticut, and moved to North Carolina with my mother when I was about 11 years old. I will say I had a pretty awesome childhood. My mother kept me involved in pretty much everything, from West Indian dance groups to Taekwondo to you name it, I was in it. I didn't always want to be a model. The thought came to me when I was younger, but the thought was very fleeting because I didn't see myself as a model. Although people told me I was pretty and told me I had the look, I just didn't see it myself. Another factor, or another reason why I didn't see it, is because I was bullied when I was a child. I was picked on about my complexion and other things, but as the years passed, I grew to love myself. I grew to love my features. I grew to love my complexion. I love my complexion now. Like, you can't tell me dark skin isn't beautiful. It's gorgeous. My sister-in-law, my future hubby's sister, she and I met for the first time, and she told me I was beautiful, and she told me I should model. And at this point, I'm like, well, why not? You know, why not? A friend of mine on Facebook posted a flyer about a modeling audition, and I went out for it. I auditioned, gave it all I had. You know, I was confident, and I got it. And so that's what started my modeling journey. My first fashion show, I was very nervous. I was just starting, so I had no idea what to expect. The way I prepare for a fashion show, the night before any fashion show, I make sure my bags are packed. I have makeup just in case the artist doesn't have anything to match my skin tone. I make sure I say a prayer the night before the show. Look in the mirror and I tell myself I'm beautiful and I got this and this is my calling and this is what I was born to do. The modeling industry now is a little more open to plus size models. When I'm not modeling, I sing. I am the praise and worship leader for my church. And I'm also a songwriter. I come from a family that is very musically inclined. There's singers, musicians, I mean, the works. In the next 5 years, I would hope to be someone's role model. I want to build a career where whomever's watching, it's an inspiration to them. I want them to see me and say, you know, that girl, she had a rough start. You know, she was able to overcome being bullied as a child and grow to love herself and become a model. Who's ever watching, I want you to know that you can do anything you put your mind to. Don't let the naysayers or the people around you that tell you you can't do something, don't let them affect you. I want to build a career where I become financially stable, not just for me, but for my mother and for my father. I want to build a career that makes them proud of me. As far as the legacy I would like to leave behind, I want to be known as the girl that went for her dreams and didn't let anything stop her. And she pushed through and she made her dreams come true.
Queen City Fame's Model Spotlight, the Ghanaian American Doll. This is Queen City Fame, where we put the Q in Queen and the F in Fame. She was featured in World Class Beauty magazine. She's also an advocate against child abuse, Beauty and Brains Miss India International. Hi.
Hi, Laura. Thank you so much for having me here.
Well, thank you for allowing us to be in your beautiful home.
Thank you.
So, who is Meghna Joshi?
So, Meghna Joshi is a compassionate human being. She believes that love and kindness can cure any issues on this planet that we have lately. She's a dancer, she's a painter, she's a bioenergy healer, she's an astrologer, she's a working lady, she's a wife, she's a sister, and all the roles that she's playing, I believe. The most satisfying role she has is being a mother of 2 little kids.
Oh wow. So let's back up a little bit. Where'd you grow up?
So I grew up in a very small town in India. The place name is called Dehradun. And its beauty is also defined by the Beatles. So there's a song that they have sung on the city that we are born.
Oh, okay. So, do you speak any other language than English?
I do. I speak Hindi and I speak Nepali, but I do understand a couple of more other Indian languages as well.
So, could you say hello to our audience in Hindi?
Namaste, everyone.
Namaste. I haven't heard namaste before. So I would like to know what inspired you to enter Miss Indian International pageant? Like, did you just wake up one morning and say, you know what, I'm gonna be a pageant girl?
No, actually not. So while growing up, like every other girl, I used to watch Miss Universe, Miss World in a television, and I had that deep-seated desire that I want to be on that stage one fine day. But as we grew up with so many roles and responsibilities that we had to fulfill, that it just took a back seat. It was my friend who actually called me up and she said, there's an advertise that I've seen it online. Why don't you apply for it? I said, oh, no, I'm not the one. I think you're talking to the wrong person. So it took a lot of coaxing from her. So it was like a couple of weeks. She told me that, if you're not going to apply, I'm not going to talk to you. So she literally convinced me to apply for this pageant. And just for her sake, I did. So little I knew that I would end up winning the title itself. So it's such a surreal experience for me after that.
So for this competition, is there a difference between this competition and any other competition?
Mm-hmm. I think it's, the background is pretty much the same, but the reason why I think that, I apply and what I like about them is they're platform-based pageant system. So they believe in values. So when you apply for it, you need to have some kind of experience with community service, anything that you believe and you have, you want to support for. So that's what's different with the other pageant system that I know of.
So tell us a little bit about your platform and why it's near and dear to your heart.
Sure. So when I was little, my parents, they believed in community service. They wanted to help people, and during my teenage times, that's what I loved. So when my friends were actually going out watching movies, I was going with them and helping the needies. So that's the value that they had instilled on me. Recently I have seen few cases of little kids who are autistic or specially able kids who were abused and had gone through severe violence. It really broke my heart, and I thought that, just entering into this pageant system and winning it, I thought that it's my God's calling, and they really want me to do something about these kids, and that's how I started my nonprofit organization, and I'm supporting the kids who are subjected to domestic violence and abuse.
Wow, so now you're in the pageant and you hear your name. What was the first thing that went through your mind?
Wow, I still remember that. I was in a state of shock. As I said, it was at a point of time that I was not even applying for the pageant, and then winning it and hearing my name when they called that this year's Miss India International is Meghna. I was really, really shocked. It took me a while to actually absorb and see that win, so it's amazing.
So you were also featured in World Class Beauty Queens magazine.
Mm-hmm.
Was that a bit overwhelming, or like did you say this is really happening, like this just happened to me?
I really had to pinch myself on that. So when you go to shopping malls, you go to stores, you see these amazing magazines there. I always flip the pages and see, wow, these women are really beautiful, and I just dream.
And your face was one of those faces in the magazine.
That's true. When I saw the people flipping the magazine and seeing me on the picture, it was such an amazing feeling.
What do you want to be your greatest contribution to community?
I believe if I can make a positive change in people's life, this is what I aspire towards.
So if there was one thing you could do to change the world, what would it be?
I think spreading love and kindness. I believe that is the main issue that we have been facing off lately. There's so many crimes that are happening, there's so much of abuse that is spread. I think if there's love and kindness everywhere, we don't have to deal with all these problems that we have.
Absolutely. There's young women looking at you, seeing that you entered the beauty pageant. Now they're understanding, what it's all about. And it's not just a beauty pageant. What advice would you give some young woman that would be interested in entering a pageant?
First of all, they really need to believe in themselves and the strength they have inside. I take this world as a playing ground. There are endless possibilities. You just have to be there, try it out. It's not about winning and not winning. It's about experiencing and learning through the process. So just go ahead and enjoy it.
So do you take time out to speak at different functions, to talk about, your platform?
Right.
What occasions do you do that?
It's usually the events that are related to domestic violence and women empowerment. That's where I go and try to talk to people, talk to women out about all these issues that we have.
So what do you do? Because I'm sure everybody's wondering, what do you do for your workout routine? To stay so fit and beautiful.
I do yoga once in a while, so yeah, that's it.
Wow, yoga. Okay, everybody, you heard yoga. Okay, yoga is gonna get you in shape. Thank you so much for having us in your lovely home.
Thank you so much, Lara, for coming in. Thanks a lot.
This is Queen City Fame, where we put the Q in Queen and the F in Fame. We'll see you next time.
Scarlet, Scarlet, Scarlet. Somebody tell me who you do it for. Scarlet. Game time, who you rooting for? Scarlet. Big city, bright lights, this is Scarlet. Hands up, everybody scream. Scarlet. I'm coming straight up out the Carolinas, Queen City, where y'all can see them. Bringing a crowd like the Bojangles Coliseum. I might catch a hockey game to see the Checkers play. In February, it's the CIAA. 1768, that's when it started. R.I.P. to the late, great Sophia Scarlett. Half a center trying to find myself a bar, but it's gonna take 30 minutes. Y'all know I'm coming from Albaum. You know that uptown traffic stay live. Coming from 85, 77, 485. Bumper to bumper, you know it's 5 o'clock. Bumping power 98 and 92.7 the block. Navigating through Tryon, switching lanes. Speeding like I'm in the NASCAR Hall of Fame. Win or lose, Carolina Panthers roar. We in the Spectrum Arena just to see the Hornets score. Somebody tell me who you do it for. Scarlet. Game time, who you rooting for? Scarlet. Big city, bright lights, this is Scarlet. Hands up, everybody scream. Scarlet. Somebody tell me who you do it for. Scarlet. Game time, who you rooting for? Scarlet. Big city, bright lights, this is Scarlet. Hands up, everybody scream. Scarlet. South Park, North Lake, Concord, but that ain't all. Carolina Place, do y'all remember Eastland Mall? A lot of shopping, trying to catch the right sale. No car, so you gotta catch the Lynx light rail. Superstars from the city on the gram. Home of Anthony Hamilton and Billy Graham. Mecklenburg County Banking District making quota. Cabo Fish Taco, you can catch me out in Noda. Shout out to the mayor, I know the city see me. JCSUU and CCCPCC. Fahrenheit, if you want me to wine and dine ya. If not, then we can hit that midnight diner. Either one I can afford. Moving through Beatty's Ford. Don't matter if you in a Bentley or a Honda Accord. When you ready to go, just tell me when. I'm signing off, yours truly, J. Quin. Somebody tell me who you do it for. Scarlet. Game time, who you rooting for? Scarlet. Big city, bright lights, this is Scarlet. Hands up, everybody scream. Scarlet. Somebody tell me who you do it for. Scarlet. Game time, who you rooting for? Scarlet. Big city, bright lights, this is Scarlet. Hands up, everybody scream.